Fluffy Hernandez is taking on Michel Pereira in what should be an action-packed main event at the Apex. We got some fights going on this Saturday. I'm going to go through. I'm going to give you the official picks. Daddy Jive is in the house. I appreciate you all for the congratulations on the birth of my baby girl. Sorry I couldn't be putting out the Dana White Contender Series breakdowns, the early picks breakdowns, but we're back. Hopefully we're back to the normally scheduled program here. We're a day late on the official picks, but either way, I'm giving them to you. We're going to go through, give you the picks. These are gun to your head. Cartel is waterboarding you, saying, give me a pick. Who do you think's going to win the fight? That's what we're going to do for every single fight on the card. Just remember, these are not bets. These are just picks. Who do I think should win? Started off first fight of the night. Austin Lane, Rubelis Despaigne. If Despaigne loses this fight, then the UFC gloves are officially broken. Okay, he should be able to tap the chin of Austin Lane, and Austin Lane should go to sleep. Austin Lane's been knocked out many, many times. I think it's 5 or 6. At heavyweight is not a good thing. Former NFL player. CTE is a real thing. Trust me, I played football. I played football in college. CTE is a real thing. Okay, and it looks like could be the case. Don't like to say that, but just got to call it how it is, okay? And Despaigne, obviously, we saw in his last fight, can't grapple, so Buddy's got to stay off the ground, off his back. But honestly, if he gets taken down in the first round, he could just survive, conserve his energy, get out in round 2, and look for the KO again, and he probably finds it. That's exactly what happened in Lane's last fight against Denise. This one seems like a pretty solid layup, but at the same time, you're at Despaigne's minus 340. Not touching that, but I do think he wins. It's probably going to be a Despaigne KO round 1, if not round 2. Despaigne is the pick. He is the official pick, even though I hate his guts now after the last fight. Melissa Martinez, Alice Ardelean. I think it's Ardelean. Some people say Ardelean, but on the commentary last fight, they called her Ardelean. Who cares? Who cares about her name? Who cares about this fight? Maybe some simps out there do care about this fight, but I don't. At the end of the day, I'm going to take Melissa Martinez for the pick. I think she's the better fighter. Ardelean is, she's tough. She's thick. She's got some muscle to her. She could throw her around. She could go in there and clinch her up and maybe land a takedown or two and just lay on top of her, maybe win a round. I could see that happening. Maybe win 2 rounds. At the end of the day, I think Melissa Martinez is the better striker. I think she's got better cardio. I think she's got better footwork. Just better striking overall. Ardelean's striking is really not that great. It's not terrible, but it's just not that great. I think the only way that Ardelean wins is if she just muscles her up, which could happen because Miss Martinez looked terrible in her UFC debut. She's been off for a long time. She had some injuries, whatever. At the end of the day, I think she's still the better fighter. I'm going to take her for a pick here. Melissa Martinez is the pick, and at the end of the day, she don't got an OF to fall back on. She needs this a little bit more. Okay, Martinez, better get it done. Otherwise, it's not looking good for you. Jessica Penne, Elise Reed, another fight. Who really cares? 3 women's MMA fights in a row. This is the longest piss break in UFC history. It might be, because they're probably all going to go to a decision and going to be sitting in the bathroom for about an hour and a half. Okay, better get some popcorn. Maybe just throw something on. I guess the PFL will be on. I'd rather watch PFL. Jessica Penne, Elise Reed. I'm going to take Elise Reed. On the only reasoning is that I think Jessica Penne don't really care. I don't really think she cares about fighting. She's got to prove it to me this Saturday if she cares about fighting. I know she does a podcast. I know she does. I think she does OF. She does something along those lines. But Elise Reed definitely not in the OF territory whatsoever. Jessica Penne's 41. She's actually just the most she's the most most inactive fighter I've seen. She has like 7 UFC fights in, I think it was like 12 years or something like that, 10 or 12 years. Elise Reed has 7 UFC fights. They have the same amount of UFC experience. That some done that up. Jessica Penne doesn't fight all that often. I don't know if it's injuries or what. But at the end of the day, man, she can't strike. She can't strike. She does have a jiu-jitsu game. Elise Reed's going to be the better striker on the feet. And as long as she doesn't get taken down and doesn't get submitted, I think she wins. So I'll take Elise Reed for the pick, but this is a disgusting fight. Probably not touching it myself. She is the favorite. I do think that's rightfully so, but I would never bet Elise Reed at chalk whatsoever. She's the pick. Let's move on. Jocelyn Edwards, Tamiris Vidal. Another disgusting fight. Edwards is the pick. She's got better striking, better takedowns. Tamiris Vidal really has nothing to offer other than a neck tat. I could maybe get behind the neck tat, but if you watch her fight, it's like the neck tat don't mean anything, okay? It ain't like she's going in there swinging bombs. It's just being tough. She's going in there, low volume. She just really just throws leg kicks. She don't even really throw her hands. She just throws leg kicks. I think she landed like 40 leg kicks against Rendon, and that was 2/3 of her significant strikes landed. She has terrible takedown defense, terrible grappling. And honestly, I think if she finishes Jocelyn Edwards, it's a huge upset. Okay, Jocelyn Edwards is a girl that goes to decision every UFC fight. And when she's going to go to decision in this fight, I think she should probably win because she will have the more volume. She'll have the better takedowns. She should win this fight. So give me Jocelyn Edwards. I like the blue hair. I'm about it. Sometimes it's different color. I like that she changes it up. And yeah, give me Edwards, man. Panama for the dub. Brad Katona, Matsumoto. It's not a good year for the Canadians, man. It's just not. I don't think they won a single fight on the Contender Series, and there's just not a lot of high-level guys out of Canada anymore. Brad isn't a training in Canada, but he's an SBG Ireland guy, which is even worse, honestly. If you're going to be born in Canada and you're going to move to Ireland, disgusting. Matsumoto, undefeated. I think he should win this fight against Brad, but I do think it'll be close because Brad is super durable. He's never been finished. He's got high volume striking. It can be high volume. He's got solid wrestling. Like, he's just good everywhere, but he's not great anywhere. He's just a guy that'll go in there and give you a tough fight. I think he does that to Matsumoto. I think he can make it close, but at the end of the day, I think Matsumoto's ceiling's a lot higher, and I think he should win this fight. If you can't beat Brad Katona, you're probably not going to be much in the UFC. So I think Matsumoto will be solid in the UFC, and I think he should beat Brad Katona here. So give me Matsumoto for the pick. Gun to your head, it's Matsumoto all day. Mateusz Nicolau, Asu Almabayev. I'm on the Almabayev train here because I think Nicolau, people are going to talk about his chin. Yeah, his chin's terrible. It's actually even worse than I thought. Like, we remember him getting knocked out his last 2 fights. But if you actually go back and watch the tape, bro, I was watching him versus Tim Elliott today. Tim Elliott dropped him. Tim Elliott dropped another grown man on the feet. Tim Elliott dropped him. He dropped Mateusz Nicolau with, I think it was a left hook. They didn't even count it as a knockdown, but it was a knockdown. That's not a good look. So honestly, we know Tim don't have the most power on the feet. And Almabayev's not the big KO guy. But even if Almabayev touches that chin, it could go out. It could go out. But the real reason I'm taking him is he doesn't even need to just go in there and fight a knockout. He can go in there, get takedowns, be chain wrestle, and I think he wins. I mean, Nicolau has this 93% takedown defense. The only guy that's really tried to take him down was Tim Elliott. And Tim Elliott didn't really try. You go back and watch the fight. He's doing these half-ass takedowns. That's not Almabayev. If Almabayev's going for takedowns, he's getting them. And I know Nicolau is a solid grappler, but Almabayev, I think, is a better wrestler, better with his top control than anybody that Nicolau has faced. I think he's going to go in there, get takedowns, maybe even land a heavy shot and put him out. But I do think he wins. Give me Almabayev, Kazakhstan all the way. And, yeah, Nicolau, it's kind of do or die for him, which I hate going against, but I am going to do it here. Asu all day. To the main card, we got Darren Elkins, Daniel Pineda. 2 old men going in there, scrapping it out. I like both guys. I like both guys because they have an exciting fight style. It's action-packed. Daniel Pineda is a guy that's going to go in there round 1. He's going to be looking to take your head off either with a punch or with a choke. That's something Darren Elkins is going to have to watch out for. But after that first round, once that first 5-minute bell rings, we get to round 2. It's Darren Elkins all day. Okay, it's Darren Elkins by whatever way he wants. Now, I think Pineda's cardio has come to be a little bit better. I don't think he had been to a decision until his last 2 fights. His last 2 fights went to a decision, but you could still see the drop-off after round 1. Elkins is a guy that we know is going to go in there and take whatever's thrown at him, and he's going to keep coming forward. And I love that. I think he's got a clear advantage later in the fight. I think he could take over early in the fight. And honestly, if he can just stay safe for that first 5 minutes, I think he wins this fight pretty clearly. Or maybe could find a late finish because Pineda's been finished a good amount of times himself. But that first 5 minutes is going to be a sweat. Give me Darren Elkins for the pick. More durable, better cardio, very solid grappling, and just tough son of a bitch, man. Tough son of a bitch. Give me Darren Elkins. Jake Hadley, Cam Smotherman. Hadley was supposed to fight Brady Heastand. I loved that fight for Heastand. I'm just sad that the fight got canceled because I was really gonna load up on Heastand. I loved it. Either way, he's facing Smotherman here. Smotherman is this guy that's been fighting in Fury FC. He fought in the Contender Series. He lost to Charalampus Gregorio. If you remember watching Charalampus Gregorio in the UFC, you know he's a terrible fighter. That dude knocked out Cam Smotherman. Now, I'm not saying Cam Smotherman is some bum, but I think he's a little bit overhyped. He's a slick striker. He's not really a guy that's going to be looking to take the fight to the ground. He's a striker. He's slick with it. But I can't really get behind these guys that fight in Fury FC. That's like their entire career because they just get layups. They get layups, man. He gets his shot here to take on Jake Hadley. I think Jake Hadley should win this fight. Those odds I don't think are correct, so just disregard those. I think Jake Hadley wins this fight. I think he's a more clean boxer. I think his grappling upside here is probably going to play a big factor just because I think his jiu-jitsu game is pretty deadly once it hits the ground. And Cam Smotherman, not the best grappler. So I think Hadley could mix it up, maybe find a sub, or he could win by decision. So Jake Hadley is the pick. Obviously, Smotherman taken out short notice too is not the best look. Charles Johnson, Sumudaerji. I kind of went back and forth with this one, but at the end of the day, I think Charles Johnson is the clear side. He's the clear side because Sumudaerji is a solid striker. We know that. We know Sumudaerji has massive holes on the ground. Dude's been submitted like 6 times. Not a good look. On the feet, he's solid. But he's nowhere near the mixed martial artist that Charles Johnson is. He's not. Charles Johnson can mix in takedowns if he wants to, and he would be an idiot not to in this fight. On the feet, his striking has come a long way. He's got better cardio, better durability. He's never been finished. The guy pushes a pace. Good in and out movement. Can kick, can punch, can grapple, can defend takedowns. He's the better mixed martial artist by a mile in this fight. It's Charles Johnson. It's Charles Johnson all day. I think he's just got to avoid some type of big KO punch, which I don't really see happening, and he's never been knocked out. But Sumudaerji's wins in the UFC are terrible. They're against the worst opposition you could imagine. I think their combined record was like 5-15 or something like that. Something awful. Charles Johnson's on a nice little streak. He's got some momentum. He comes in here and picks up another win. I don't even know why this matchup is being made because Charles just knocked out Josh Van. And it honestly seems like a setup to where, Sumudaerji loses. He lost his 3rd straight and they cut him. So Charles Johnson it is. Rob Font, Kyler Phillips. I like Kyler Phillips. I think Kyler Phillips is a solid fighter. At times, I just wish he would go for the finish a little bit more. But at the end of the day, he is fighting some pretty durable guys. Barcelos, Pedro Munoz, pretty durable guys. And I can see why he's not finding these finishes. But he is facing another pretty durable guy here. Who's only been submitted once ever. He's never been knocked out. Rob Font's been cracked a couple times. But I do think they could probably make it to a decision here. And at that point, it's up to the judges. And that's a disgusting thing to look at when you got Sal D'Amato and Mike Bell and Derek Cleary putting these scorecards together. You don't know what the fuck's going to happen, okay? But I do think Kyler Phillips should win this fight. Should it be this big of a favorite? I don't know. I think he's got massive grappling upside. If he goes in there and he wrestles, he should win this fight clearly 30-27 because Rob Font can't stuff a takedown. But he decides to stand and strike, use his little outside footwork movement, Matrix. Oh my God, the Matrix. If he tries to do that, for 3 rounds. He's in the small cage. He's going to get cut off by Rob Font, and Rob Font's going to be able to land on him. And once you allow Rob Font to get in a groove and you're not shooting takedowns, then he can make the fight close. So Kyler Phillips, have some IQ, go in there, and shoot takedowns like your life depends on it. I don't care. You need to win the fight? Okay. You win the fight. Take him down multiple times. Do what Corey Sandhagen did. That's how you win the fight. That's how you make it clear. But if you don't do that, and it goes to a decision, and you lose by split decision, I'm not going to feel bad for you if you didn't shoot any takedowns. Kyler Phillips is the pick. What was I going to say? Forgot what I was going to say. But Kyler Phillips is the pick. I do think he gets this one done. He's the better fighter at this point in time. And Rob Font is a shell of himself who can't defend takedowns. So, Anthony Hernandez, Michel Pereira. You know what? I remember what I was going to say. I was going to have a little rant about Jared Gooden. Jared Gooden was literally throwing the fight last Saturday by doing dumb shit, having no fight IQ. Kyler Phillips, don't do that. Michel Pereira, Anthony Hernandez. Another spot where we could have some absolutely retard IQ on Michel Pereira's side. Maybe we could have some retard IQ on Anthony Hernandez's side. At this point, it's up for whoever wants to be the biggest tard of the week. Last week it was Jared Gooden. We'll see who it is this week. Just no fight IQ whatsoever. Michel Pereira, he's going to be throwing these backflips in the air. He should have been disqualified a couple times from those. It's cool. I like it. He's explosive. Him at middleweight seems to be like a problem. 3-0 at middleweight. All first-round finishes. I don't know what this guy's on because he wasn't finishing anybody at 170. Now he's just finishing everybody to completion. Is he going to finish Anthony Hernandez? I think he could. I think he could finish him in round 1, but after that, it's all downhill. It's all downhill because Anthony Hernandez does get tagged a lot early in the fight against Kopylov. He got knocked out by Holland. He got submitted by some other guy. I forget his name. Got submitted by some other guy in round 2. And honestly, I look at both guys' win streaks. I think they're kind of fraudulent. Hernandez beat, was it Kopylov, like Josh Fremd and Edmund Shabazian? Okay. Not that great. Michel Pereira beat Petrosky. It's a decent win, but he took it on short notice. Ola Shaychek can't grapple. And Yor Portieria. Those win streaks are very fraudulent. Honestly, I look at these guys. It's a great matchup. I like it. But either guy could just look terrible because of their level of competition is just not that good. I think Hernandez just needs to weather the storm. He could take over late. Anthony Hernandez is going to be my pick just because I think he knows that too. I think he knows I got to stay safe early. And I think Pereira probably knows he needs to find an early finish. So it's a clash of styles. I'm going to side with the Hernandez side just because of the better cardio, the grappling upside. But he could easily get sparked in round 1. And I wouldn't be surprised with the way that Pereira's been doing, guys. So Anthony Hernandez is the pick. I love both guys, though. I love both guys, just their fight styles. Hernandez just grinds you out. And he is an exciting grappler. So I like that. And Pereira's just a fucking weirdo. And I love it. So Hernandez is the pick. That'll do it for the video. Once again, appreciate y'all for the support. We're back with the scheduled program. Best Bets video coming to you soon. We got PFL. We got UFC this week. We got UFC 308 next week. So looking forward to that. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Let me know your picks down below. Till next time, hey, Jab Picks. We out.